Ever wish you could like fast forward to really understanding a new tech topic?
Hmm.
Well, buckle up because today we're diving headfirst into Bittensor.
Okay.
Think of it as Bitcoin, but for AI.
I like that analogy. Yeah. We're used to big tech, calling the shots when it comes to AI development. But Bittensor wants to change that with his decentralized approach.
Yeah, and this isn't just theoretical, right? I was really surprised to learn that some Bittensor subnets are already outperforming these like centralized models that are out there,
Yeah,
even in really complex areas like natural language processing.
it's true. There was just a Bittensor subnet that recently beat out a leading centralized model that everyone knows on this sentiment analysis task.
Yeah.
It's really a testament to what they're doing over there, the power of distributed innovation. But maybe we should back up for a sec.
Yeah, for sure. For those of us who aren't, you know, coding whiz kids, can we just break down this whole subnet thing?
Yeah, so imagine a massive collaborative AI lab, but instead of being in one physical location, it's spread across a decentralized network. That's basically what Bittensor is.
Okay.
It's a network of these independent subnets, all laser focused on a specific aspect of AI.
So we've got these like specialized AI departments, but who's running them and how do they actually collaborate in this like digital world?
And it's a great question. So you have three main players in the Bittensor ecosystem. First, you've got the subnet owners. They're the architects of these AI departments. They
Right.
set the goals, the standards, they're running the show. Then you have the miners.
Okay.
They're the workhorses, right?
Ah.
Contributing their computing power and their expertise to actually do the tasks that the subnet owners set.
Okay.
And then finally, you have the validators.
Okay.
And they act as quality control. They make sure that the miners' work is actually good and meets the benchmarks that were set by the subnet.
So it's like this self-governing AI community all incentivized to work together toward like a common goal. But how does Bittensor actually like reward these contributors? Is there like an AI salary involved?
Think of it more as a meritocracy that's powered by TAO, which is Bittensor's native token.
Gotcha.
So essentially, miners earn TAO by contributing their computing power and skills to a subnet. And the better they perform, the more TAO they earn.
That makes sense. So let's say I'm like a miner and I'm really good at what I do. How does Bittensor actually measure my contribution and determine how much TAO I'm going to get?
So that's where these validators come in.
Right.
Remember how we talked about the subnet owners setting goals and standards?
Yeah.
The validators use those criteria to evaluate the work that's submitted by the miners.
Okay.
It's their job to look at it and say, okay, is this good enough?
Right.
Does this deserve a TAO reward?
Mm-hmm.
And this ensures that the quality of work on the network remains high and that the network is rewarding actual genuine contributions.
So there's a real incentive there to not just participate, but to really excel within whatever subnet you've chosen. This all sounds kind of utopian in a way. How does Bittensor prevent people from trying to game the system? Is there a risk of like a rogue AI subnet wreaking havoc?
Yeah, it's a valid concern.
Mm-hmm.
But Bittensor has these built-in safeguards
Okay.
based on game theory and, more specifically, token economics.
Yeah.
So the value of a subnet's specific token is directly tied to its performance. So if a subnet is constantly producing really high-quality results, its token becomes way more desirable,
Right.
which attracts even more miners and validators and drives that token value even higher.
So the better a subnet performs, the more valuable it becomes.
Yeah.
And it creates this like self-reinforcing cycle
Exactly.
of quality and reward. That's really interesting. What about people who try to cheat the system?
Yeah. So that's the beauty of this decentralized structure.
Okay.
Because everything is transparent and publicly auditable, any attempts to game the system are going to be exposed really quickly.
Right.
And not only that, but there are penalties in place for bad actors. So for example, validators who aren't upholding the standards or miners who are submitting substandard work,
Mm-hmm.
they're going to get weeded out pretty quickly.
So we've got this like intricate system of checks and balances that's ensuring quality and preventing any malicious activity. But I do have to ask, if everyone's working on these separate specialized subnets, how does anything truly like innovative emerge? Like, is there a risk of Bittensor becoming this fragmented landscape of just niche AI projects?
That's where Bittensor's black hole effect comes in.
Black hole effect. Now you've really got me interested.
Okay, so imagine this. Any AI research that's out there publicly available,
Mm-hmm.
any open source code, anything that could push the field forward,
Yeah.
it can all be integrated into Bittensor.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, it's designed to absorb and leverage the collective knowledge of the entire AI community.
So instead of being fragmented, Bittensor actually encourages like cross-pollination between all these different areas of AI research.
Exactly. It creates this synergy where a breakthrough in, let's just say, computer vision could then spark a new wave of innovation in natural language processing,
Right.
and vice versa.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's this interconnectedness that makes Bittensor so unique and honestly so powerful.
So it's greater than the sum of its parts, basically.
Exactly.
And let's talk about the competition for a second, because Bittensor isn't the only player in this decentralized AI game, right?
Right, you're right. The decentralized AI space is really heating up.
Mm-hmm.
You've got projects like Community, which focuses on creating these modular AI systems.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have Allura with its emphasis on integrating AI with like decentralized finance.
Right.
They're all doing interesting work.
Bittensor's going for the whole shebang.
Exactly. Bittensor's taking a much broader approach, encompassing that entire AI development lifecycle,
Okay.
really building the infrastructure for a truly decentralized AI ecosystem, from data collection and model training to deployment and governance.
So it's like the difference between building one AI tool versus constructing the entire AI factory.
100%. That's a great way to put it.
Yeah.
And Bittensor's not stopping there either.
Okay.
They're about to roll out this major upgrade with dynamic TAO. Think of it as Bittensor's answer to Ethereum's ERC20 tokens.
Okay, yeah, I've heard whispers about dynamic TAO. What's the big deal? What doors does it open?
Dynamic TAO is huge because it's going to allow developers to create these subnet-specific tokens.
Okay.
So that means that if you are really passionate about a specific application of AI, let's just say, for example, developing AI-powered medical imaging,
Right.
you could directly invest in and support subnets that are dedicated to that field.
So instead of just earning TAO for contributing, I could actually invest in the success of a whole subnet that's dedicated to something I really care about.
That's exactly it. It's going to create this incredible opportunity for hyper-specialized AI development that's going to be fueled by these really passionate communities and targeted investment.
Wow.
Yeah, it's like crowdfunding the future of AI,
Yeah.
but with this insane level of granularity and control
Yeah.
that we've just never seen before.
This is starting to sound like something straight out of a sci-fi novel.
Yeah.
In a good way, of course.
Yeah.
But let's be real, can Bittensor, even with all of its innovation and ambition, can it really go toe-to-toe with these giants out there like your Googles and your OpenAIs? These are massive companies with basically unlimited resources and a huge head start.
Yeah, it's a David and Goliath scenario for sure.
Yeah.
But remember what we were talking about earlier, the power of distributed computing.
Right.
Bittensor can tap into this global network of computers and potentially surpass even the most sophisticated centralized systems when it comes to raw computing power.
So it's many hands make light work, but instead it's many computers make light work of really complex AI problems.
Exactly. And it's not even just about the brute force. It's about the diversity of thought and approaches.
Right.
With Bittensor, you have this global community of really talented people.
Yeah.
Bringing all their unique perspectives and skills to the table, which leads to much more creative and potentially groundbreaking solutions.
So it's the difference between this like monolithic corporation with one singular vision versus this vibrant ecosystem just like teeming with all these different ideas.
Right. And that diversity goes beyond just the humans.
Okay.
Remember how we talked about Bittensor being like this black hole absorbing and integrating all the open source AI developments out there?
Yeah.
That means that it's constantly learning and adapting,
Right.
drawing from the intelligence of countless researchers and developers all around the world.
It's like this constantly evolving AI brain trust, constantly pushing the boundaries of what's even possible at this point. But with all this talk about powerful AI, we have to at least acknowledge that there could be some downsides, right? I'm not saying that Bittensor is about to create some robot uprising or anything.
Right. It's a valid point.
Yeah.
Any technology this transformative is going to come with some inherent risks.
Yeah.
But I actually think that Bittensor being decentralized could make AI safer in the long run.
Okay. Interesting. How so?
Well, think about it. One of the biggest concerns with AI is the potential for bias
Yeah.
and misuse,
Mm-hmm.
especially when it's controlled by only a select few.
Right.
With Bittensor, you're distributing that power. So it's much harder for any single entity to impose its will or its own biases on the technology.
So instead of having a handful of corporations that are dictating the future of AI, we've got a global community shaping it.
Exactly.
So it's like kind of baking those safeguards into the very fabric of the AI,
Yeah.
which I think can only be a good thing. But let's be realistic here. No technology is perfect. Even with this decentralized approach, what are some of the hurdles that Bittensor might face moving forward?
That's a great question. I think one of the biggest challenges for any decentralized platform, honestly, is achieving scale.
Right.
So Bittensor really needs to attract and then keep a really significant number of users. Your subnet owners, miners, validators,
Yeah.
in order to really thrive.
It's that like chicken and egg problem.
Exactly.
To get the users, you need the developers, but to get the developers, you need users.
Right. And because Bittensor is still pretty new, it's got to convince these developers that it's not just a viable platform, but a valuable one
Yeah.
for building and deploying their AI applications.
For sure.
That means showing them the technical capabilities are there,
Yeah.
but also that it's going to be around for a while.
Right, because even the coolest technology in the world is going to fizzle out if it doesn't have that strong foundation
100%.
and a clear path forward.
Yeah, absolutely. And speaking of the path forward, Bittensor is going to have to navigate the whole, evolving regulatory landscape around AI.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Governments everywhere are trying to figure out how to regulate this technology. And Bittensor is going to have to adapt to these new regulations as they come out, while also staying true to that decentralized vision.
Yeah, that's a tough line to walk, for sure. Or I have to say, after like really diving deep into Bittensor, I'm cautiously optimistic. It's not every day that you find a technology that could actually democratize something as powerful as AI.
Yeah, I agree. Bittensor is not just building a platform, they're building a movement.
Yeah.
A movement towards a future where AI is accessible to everyone, it's beneficial to everyone, and the power is distributed.
It's a future I am here for. And to everyone listening, I would encourage you to go beyond just listening, Go explore the Bittensor platform, read their white paper, maybe even dip your toes into a subnet or two, because the future of AI is being written right now. And with Bittensor, everyone has the opportunity to pick up a pen and kind of write their own chapter.
That's a great way to put it. The future of AI is collaborative, it's decentralized, and it's full of possibilities.